It's the experience of doing this Five Stranger thing because I'm not out. If I were out doing things, that'd be easy for me to meet people. But because it's like late night, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 11 o'clock. Do I go to 7-Eleven or something? So this time I decided, you know what? It'd be so much easier than going to the gym. At the gym, there's, again, 25-year-old dudes with their hats on backwards and working out. And it's just, I don't want to talk to any of them. So I went to the store and I felt kind of like burglar or maybe a detective where I'm like casing the joint. So I stopped by Walgreens before they closed and I'm looking at those mirrors to see, okay, who's in the store and what's my path going to be. Okay, there's 4 people in the store and then 2 staff. So I'm going to hit over here and then over there. And it's a little bit like voyeurism. And because I fought for the voyeurism law, it's a little weird. But hey, man, get the challenge done. So I talked to this lady about fake fingernails and fake eyelashes. Neither one, I don't know how to do either one of them. Um, and anyways, a couple other people, not that interesting. But when I went to the cashier, I saw there was a Pike Place lanyard. And I'm like, oh, Pike Place Market. What a dumb thing to say. But she's like, yeah, I got in a fight there with my husband 3 years ago. Oh, that's too bad. I mean, like, wow. And, I talked to her. There's one person in front of me, so we're talking a little bit. And I'm like, oh, is it okay now? She's like, yeah, but we haven't been there since. And, she says, well, I want to take my girlfriend's there, but then it's awkward because then he's jealous and he wants to go. And it's just weird. And I'm like, oh. And it was just kind of the strangest thing because we didn't build rapport. The first thing out of her mouth was, yeah, I got in a fight there. And so that along with a couple other examples, just shows me that people, there's people who need to vent and to share some of these things. And, if it takes me like a minute or two to sit there and listen, I'm happy to do that most of the time. Other times I'm really focused. But I was just kind of shocked by that. And I think she felt good about getting that kind of off her chest. Okay, so then I shot over to Fred Meyer's, before that closes. And again, it's a huge store. And just trying to figure out my route here. And that's where I found the dreadlocks dude. And after like a little bit, he was kind of like, I was getting the body language like, yeah, a little bit too many questions. I'm going to go on my way. So that was kind of weird because usually I'm not that person. And then I was strolling the aisle and, this guy was kind of meandering about and he's an employee. I'm like, hey, Ryan, what's your role here? Oh, I'm just, making sure that the front end is okay and everything's good. I said, oh, how long have you been doing that? Forever. And I was saying, oh, how long's forever? 5 years. And I'm thinking to you and me, forever is probably like 30, 40 years. And that was pretty funny. And then he went into, yeah, I have a 7-month-old baby. I'm 7-week baby. And, I'd really like to do something else, but, I got to pay the bills and everything. And then he's like, yeah, I'd like to go into computer software. And again, this is like from one question. And I'm thinking, he's got some things on his mind that he needs to work out. And I think that now that he said it out loud, because he was kind of thinking on the spot, like, oh, computer software. So I'm thinking maybe I'm helping a little bit. So that makes me feel good. But again, it's like, wow. Anyways, big discoveries. Oh, yeah. So last night, I was really tired and it was pretty early. It was like 10. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go to the gym. Let me go to the store and make this happen. 4 people in the store. So, and then two employees. So had to really make this happen. So, the second person, let's see, the first person I saw, he was really dressed up, kind of executive type. And I'm like, okay, I could say, oh, you make me feel not feel undressed, underdressed. So I'm like, okay, I didn't see him this way. He's walking the opposite direction. I'll probably see him again. Okay, so when he did come over, past me, I was like, oh yeah, and then I got a good laugh from that, and then he's on his way. Um, and then at the front of the register, I was standing in line, and he was 2 in front of me, so it was a little bit awkward, to talk across, but I did anyways, and so that was fine. Got some interaction. And then the person in front of me, I was pretty certain she would speak English, so I noticed she had her hair in a rope twist, right? And she used 2 bobby pins, and I just did a hairstyle challenge, and so I was gonna have a bobby pin conversation with her. so, um, so I had that right in my side pocket. I was like, oh, you know what? Wow, when did you learn how to use bobby pins? Luckily, I didn't have to do that. And I talked to the cashier instead. But it's just the funniest thing. Like, it doesn't really matter what you say, but I think of just the stupid things I say, and it totally works. It doesn't really matter. You just have to talk because people are happy to talk. Let me share with you some other stupid thing. In the hot tub at the gym, I'm kind of, let me get into like the next piece. So I talked about the things I discovered and the experience of doing this and how to strategize. And then learning about me. I'm seeing that there are so many opportunities that I don't make people's day and that I'm not friendly, right? I'm focused, I'm targeted, I'm getting to the store, I'm out of the store, I'm listening to my book. I'm multitasking and I'm just focusing on me, not aware of other people, just doing my thing. But I was just seeing, wow, I'm missing opportunities to be nice out there, and it doesn't take much effort, and I'm not doing it, and I should. And so back to the hot tub at the gym, I guess I have this thing about talking to people who are first generation Americans who don't speak English, right? Like I avoid, if I'm at the Asian grocery store and I'm trying to find something, I'm like, good luck. I'm not going to find anything because when I talk to somebody who works there, they're not going to know. They're not going to speak English, so I don't bother. And same thing at the gym, at the hot tub. That's a lot of people who are from another country and they don't speak English. And so I just avoid talking to them because I don't want the awkwardness of like trying to struggle about just saying hi and like them trying to, grab one of their friends to translate when I'm not saying anything interesting. So I have that. So I just avoid the talking at all. So it was like, I don't know, 11:50, midnight. I'm like, oh, make this happen. So there was an older gentleman, probably 70 years old, and he was Asian. I don't know which country. And again, stupid things to say. I was like, oh, it's really hot in here, isn't it? Because it was hotter than my hot tub. And then he just like I didn't say anything at all. I'm like, okay, well I tried. And then the next guy got in there, also 70 or so. And same thing. I'm like, oh, it's really hot in here, isn't it? And he was like, hot, anyway. So I did talk to some first generation folks, and it was okay, awkward, but get over it, right? So, anyways, I this is a great challenge, and it is every day it's challenging for me, and I make it happen most days, and I love this exercise, and I just even as I stumble through this as I'm talking to you, which probably nobody will even get through. Yeah, I'm learning. It doesn't really matter what you say. I mean, if you're trying to get a date or something, then, it kind of matters. But just opening the door, people want to talk. They want socialization. And just realizing that is helpful. And I will try and make people's day. And I'll be more friendly to people who I normally would just, let's be targeted and focused and just focus on me here. So I'm going to try and be aware of other people and to be a little bit more friendly.